Bodybuilders can look absolutely unreal when they're on stage, shredded to the bone, every muscle popping, and not a single ounce of fat in sight. It's easy to think they always look this way, but that's far from reality. The truth is, once the contest season ends, things change fast. With no strict diet or intense prep, many bodybuilders lose their stage-ready shape completely. In this video, we're taking a look at 8 bodybuilders who look so different in the off-season, you might not even recognize them. Starting with Lee Priest, who had one of the most insane transformations of all. In contest shape, he was a shredded beast, weighing anywhere between 200 and 230 pounds, which is crazy considering he was only 5 feet 4 inches tall. Every muscle was dialed in, veins popping and all. But off-season was a whole different story. Lee didn't just bulk up, he blew up. He packed on so much weight that he looked like a walking meatball, almost unrecognizable from his stage-ready form. And the reason was that he ate like there was no tomorrow. Fast food was his best friend, with KFC and McDonald's on the menu almost daily. People still talk about his diet meals, which were just bowls of candy bars and all kinds of junk. And the result? Well, just look at him. His legs got so thick that he couldn't walk without chafing. Imagine dealing with that every single day. Mega bulk, maybe. At number 2, we have Jay Cutler, another bodybuilder who went through some serious changes when he wasn't competing. In fact, he was easily one of the guys who packed on the most weight during the off-season. Cutler was a shredded 260 pounds on stage. But during the off-season, he bulked up so much that his weight shot up to 290 pounds, sometimes even 300. That's a full 30 to 40 pound difference, and it wasn't all muscle. The photo you're looking at right now, that's Cutler at his absolute peak size, and let's just say, it's a far cry from his competition days. Someone even joked on Reddit that off-season Jay Cutler looks like a racial caricature of an ethnicity that doesn't exist. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Next up, we have the absolute king of bodybuilding, Ronnie Coleman. If we're talking about the best of the best, it doesn't get bigger than him. At his peak, Ronnie was huge. By huge, we mean this huge. He was a walking mountain of muscle, a true unit that dominated every stage he stepped on. In contest shape, he was already tipping the scales at a jaw-dropping 300 pounds, 136 kilograms, with muscle so shredded it looked unreal. But off-season Ronnie was a whole different beast. He didn't just gain weight, he got stronger. While most bodybuilders use the off-season to rest, Ronnie ramped up his training even harder. His lifts were absolutely ridiculous. 800-pound squats and deadlifts like it was nothing, all while carrying an extra 15 to 20 pounds. He also ate like a machine. Unlike guys who got lazy with their diets, Ronnie stuck to a strict plan, but with even more food. He was known for downing massive plates of chicken, rice, and cornbread like it was a snack. And if you thought his off-season look was softer, think again. While he held more water weight, his sheer size and fullness made him look even bigger than on stage. But the most insane part is that his conditioning never completely fell apart. Even with the extra weight, he still had visible veins running across his arms and chest, something most bodybuilders couldn't dream of in their bulking phase. Next up, we have Shawn Rhoden, and let's just say his off-season look was a shocker. Out of everyone on this list, Shawn might have had the most drastic transformation when he wasn't in competition mode. Known for his incredibly aesthetic physique, Shawn had a reputation for bringing some of the most shredded, streamlined, and proportionate looks to the Olympia stage. But off-season was ridiculous. His guest posing at the 2019 Pittsburgh Pro left fans absolutely stunned. Instead of the razor-sharp conditioning he was famous for, he stepped on stage looking bloated, soft, and almost unrecognizable. His abs were barely visible, his definition was gone, and his usual tight waistline had completely disappeared. And while some bodybuilders gain weight in a way that still looks somewhat impressive, Shawn's off-season shape had none of that wow factor. Instead, he looked like he had taken a long break from training, which, to be fair, might have been true at that time. Coming in at number 5, we have Rollie Winklaar, one of the freakiest mass monsters to ever step on a bodybuilding stage. When he was in contest shape, Rollie was pure cartoonish muscle, insane size, deep cuts, and some of the biggest arms in bodybuilding history. But when the off-season hit, everything just disappeared. Unlike guys who just got a little softer in the off-season, Roelly had a full-blown transformation. His abs were gone, his jawline disappeared. His usual dry, grainy muscle were completely covered under layers of extra weight. There were even times when fans questioned if he was still competing because he looked more like a strongman than a bodybuilder in his off-season. And a big reason for this was his massive appetite. Rollie never held back when it came to eating. He packed on the calories like a heavyweight, fueling his body to grow as much as possible. Burgers, fries, high-carb meals, you name it, Roelly probably had it on his plate. Anyway, despite looking borderline unrecognizable in the off-season, Rollie always managed to carve himself back down into a shredded monster when it mattered. It was almost like watching a completely different person emerge from under all that bulk. Heath is not a name to take lightly, and if there's one thing certain, it's that he earned every ounce of respect in the bodybuilding world. With 7 Mr. Olympia titles under his belt, Phil was in a league of his own, one of the few bodybuilders who could match the insane conditioning of legends while still carrying massive, full muscle bellies. His absolute prime was 2011. That was the year Phil looked untouchable, bringing a level of sharpness and fullness that had never been seen before. At that point, he weighed around 240 pounds, 108 kilograms, on stage, looking like a living action figure. Every muscle popped, every cut was deep, and his signature 3D look was in full effect. But when the competition season was over, it was different. Phil had a reputation for packing on size in the off-season, sometimes bulking up to 270 pounds, 122 kilograms. That's a full 30-pound gain, and it was clear in every way. His waistline expanded, his face filled out, and in some photos, you could barely recognize the shredded champion from the Olympia stage. Famous tight midsection was gone. Instead, he carried a noticeable off-season belly, making it obvious that his physique was built for pure mass-gaining mode rather than aesthetic perfection. Markus Rühl was easily one of the biggest freaks to ever step on a bodybuilding stage. But in the off-season, he blew up to 330 pounds, eating a massive 7,000 calories a day just to keep his size. But the craziest part was that he wasn't just stuffing himself with food, he was also chain-smoking cigarettes, something you'd never expect from a pro bodybuilder. His off-season look was far from shredded, often bloated and rough, making him seem the opposite of healthy. That's how he looked because of his habits. Dorian Yates was another absolute beast who got shockingly big in the off-season. After Lee Haney's 8 straight Olympia wins, Yates finally took the title in 1992, weighing 265 pounds, 120 kilograms at just 5 feet 8 inches. He was one of the first bodybuilders to bring a crazy mix of size, definition, and that famous grainy look, something no one had seen before. But the off-season wasn't that good. Yates blew up to 305 pounds, 138 kilograms. Packing on a ton of size, he looked completely different, holding way more water in bulk. His off-season physique wasn't as sharp or dry, but when it was time to compete, he always cut down and came back looking like a statue carved from stone. That's why he dominated the sport for years and changed bodybuilding forever. Bodybuilding is a sport of extremes. These guys go from being the most shredded people on earth to looking like completely different people in the off-season. Whether it's because of massive bulks, insane diets, or simply taking a break, their transformations are nothing short of shocking. Who do you think had the most insane off-season transformation? Let us know in the comments below.